needs is not to, should she lose her position as the Deputy Prime Minister and Housing Secretary. But as I said, don't want to prejudge anything until we have the findings of the investigation. The Prime Minister then has to look at the findings and take a decision, and then they will take it from there. But obviously all eyes now on the future of Angela Rayner. And you saw in that interview I did with her, she gave a very fulsome account of the circumstances around the trust. She said that she had acted in good faith. She said that she regretted the error deeply. And she really asked people to be understanding of her complicated family arrangements. But really it rests with the evidence and the paper trail. And we should find out potentially today what the outcome is.
All right, Beth, for now, I'm sure we'll be speaking to you later. Thank you. Let's get more on this. I can speak now to the former Downing Street Communications Director for John Major, Jonathan Haslam. Very good morning to you. Do you see this as black and white, as our political editor was portraying it there? If she is found to have broken the ministerial code, she will have to leave Cabinet.
I think that's almost inevitable. Good morning, Sam. I think that there's no other way out for her. We need to look at the language here. Does Keir Starmer have to sack her, or does she resign? So much is going to be dependent on the words that Sir Laurie uses in his report. It's always very difficult in these circumstances, and this is a particularly complicated one. The thing that Keir Starmer would be looking for particularly is very clear advice from Sir Laurie. He won't want a sort of wishy-washy, maybe she could have done this, maybe she could have done that. He'll want to have, he would very much want to have a clear finding that he can rest upon. And then with showing it to Angela Rayner, if it's adverse, she can make her own decision. That would make life easier for him. But there is no easy way out for either Angela Rayner or for Keir Starmer. Angela Rayner's got a number of problems. She should have been hyper vigilant about anything to do with property just because of those issues some time ago when she sold a council tax flat that she had bought. And there were questions about both whether or not she should have paid capital gains tax on it, and indeed what were her living arrangements and where she was registered to vote. Now, in the event, she still managed to get away with that. I say no allegation she did anything wrong, but it created a furore at the time. And under those circumstances, you have to go the extra mile. I'd be really interested to know if she also took the opportunity to take any advice from the Cabinet Office. Now, they won't give tax advice, but they would give strategic advice, saying you do really need to go to experts in these particular fields to be able to get your true answer about what it is that you've got yourself into and how you need to make sure you're clear with HMRC. So there's so much riding on this. One final point, Sam, which we might want to discuss a bit further, is the effect on Keir Starmer, because while Angela Rayner does have a very large constituency of support, there are plenty of other people who would not want to see her as Prime Minister. And therefore, while she's in place, Keir Starmer's position actually is quite strong because there's no contender. If she's gone and a realistic contender comes up, bearing in mind the torrid time that the government's had since it came into office, then his position could become somewhat more fragile.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So you think that there is some calculus in his mind. He has to weigh up responding to the ethics report because he was very critical of the way Boris Johnson, for example, did not sack Priti Patel after she was found to have broken the ministerial code. He's got to weigh that up against keeping Angela Rayner where he can see her.
Yes, indeed. And I think that is important. I mean, damaged goods as well, because she will have, there's always a whiff around these, whatever a report says, that the allegation sticks, even if you're found to be completely free of guilt. And it's just worthwhile. It's fascinating you mentioned the situation with Boris Johnson and Priti Patel. Now, the report into Priti Patel did give her a little bit of a way out, but it said unintentional bullying. Now, I think in most people's minds, if you're a Home Secretary, you should have the intellect and wit to know whether or not the way you're treating people is bullying behaviour or not. So one word got Priti Patel out of trouble in that circumstance. Here, the language of Sir Laurie is going to be absolutely crucial. And Beth and her colleagues in the lobby are forensic scientists when it comes to looking not just at the words, but actually the lines between the words. And they will interpret and tell us what the politicians should be doing.
Yes, does it come down to the sort of nuanced difference, really, between whether she made an honest mistake or a careless mistake?
Yes, I think it does. I think there's going to be quite a lot of forensic analysis around the words that Sir Laurie uses, and he will take into account the form she's got and her position. I mean, she is the housing minister. Stamp duty and land tax, of course, is A, first of all, a ludicrous tax, and B, we see just how complicated the whole issue is. And particularly when the government at the moment is facing an incredible problem with its budget. It's speculating, there's briefing going out perhaps, maybe not from the government, about the potential to completely upend property taxes and council taxes. And this is just bad news in any respect, basically because that sort of fundamental change should either be dealt with through probably a green paper and a white paper and a lot of consultation to avoid unintended consequences. And it's a moot point. You could even say that actually it should be a manifesto commitment before, so people know what they're getting themselves into. She's in charge of that department. She's not in charge of the taxation of it, but it's crucial that we get a proper debate about these issues. And your earlier package just showed how complicated it can be. And that's one of the problems that the whole of the country faces. We are over-regulated. It's a bureaucratic nightmare, and it holds so much back.
Not least because the Prime Minister tightened up the ministerial code, didn't he, not long after taking power, wanted to bring in more transparency amongst his ministers. Is there a scenario whereby she could be found to have made an unintentional mistake here, pay a fine to HMRC, make right the stamp duty that she ought to have paid, perhaps lose her role as Housing Secretary, but remain on as Deputy Prime Minister?
Well, so many hypotheticals, and it's almost impossible to ask. I think if she is found to be significantly at fault, even if it was inadvertent, she's going to have a bit of a problem in terms of credibility because she has been very trenchant. We remember the criticisms of Nadhim Zahawi when the Conservatives were in office. So there is a credibility issue she has to face. But equally, Keir Starmer won't want me to be rushing in at the moment to a major reshuffle, including cabinet ministers, if he can avoid it. He's got enough problems on his plate at the moment. And he's not going to be thanking Angela Rayner in the slightest for this, because this was supposed to be a week of a reset. A new economic advisor coming in, taking Darren Jones from the Treasury to act as his new chief of staff. I think there's a chief of a staff. We have Tim Allen, who worked with Alastair Campbell and set up the Portland PR company and is a very astute business person, now to become the executive director of communications. Well, I can tell you, as a former director of communications at Number 10, this is the last thing on planet Earth I would like to have seen in my in-tray if I'd been Tim Allen.
Oh, just as well it's not you then, but fascinating to get your perspective. Jonathan Haslam, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're watching Sky News Today. Do stay with us. We're going to bring you more from Westminster as we await the ethics report into Angela Rayner's tax affairs.
gives you the very best of Sky News wherever you are. Breaking news, videos, analysis,
Up at 6%.
podcasts, watching us live,
Joins us live.
all in one place, and all at just the touch of a screen. The Sky News app. Get the full story first.
I just took a shower above the clouds. You know why? Because this is the Emirates A380. Fly Emirates, fly better.
Some breaking news to bring you. Portuguese authorities have declared 3 days of mourning after the city's iconic Gloria funicular crashed, killing 16 people and injuring 22. They have updated that death toll to include the very sad detail that 3 Britons were amongst those who died. 5 were Portuguese, 2 Korean, 1 was from Switzerland. And we now know as well that 3 of those who lost their lives in that tragic accident in Lisbon were British. We'll have more on that for you as and when we can. Now, more on the mounting pressure on the Deputy Prime Minister.